Thanks, Ross. Well, we obviously had to come inside today with the crazy weather situation. Hopefully everyone in this area is okay. Today was what we call situational day. It used to be a day that was live, but had to be fud this year with a couple of live periods, at the end. But a lot of situational football. We've been going for a couple of weeks now, and really trying to expose these guys and the coaches so that we think situationally, and the same thing for the team. So with some first down emphasis, first down play second down play third down, then all third down. We did some coming out off the goal line. We did a 3rd and 3, 2-down territory. Got to try to win the game. Defense got to stop. It's 4-down territory all the way. So that was a good situation for us. We got three racks of 2 minutes with a touchdown to win it type of situation. We did some last plays. So a lot of situational work today, and it was really good for us because, again, you don't want to wait till you get into those situations in games and see some of these mistakes that we had today. So good to get some of that stuff exposed so that we can teach and get better from it. And I don't have any doubt our guys will do just that. But some critical mistakes today, just like the defense. Offense needs a touchdown to win it. End of the game, DB makes an interception, and just takes off running instead of getting down. So just situational stuff that we've got to teach from. And again, some last plays. What to expect, certain field zones, whether it be last play from the 30, the 15, the 5, etc. So I'm really pleased with the amount of teaching we were able to get done today and the amount of work. Tomorrow we start school, so it's been a good camp. Everybody's at that point in camp now where I think everybody's excited for school to start tomorrow. And we pretty much have had these guys. When you have camp, you have no rules from a time standpoint. You can have them all day and night, and we take full advantage of that. As we prepare for the whole season. And so now we get into school and the clock starts and our constraints kick in as far as how long we can have these guys on a daily basis. So, but I feel good about all the work that we've got done. We've got a lot of evaluating still to do between now and next week. And then we gotta start honing in and getting ready for opponent play. So, tomorrow will be a lighter day in Bess, and then Thursday will be our last full live scrimmage, and then let these guys rest a little bit, come back Friday and Saturday, come back in here Sunday, and get back at it. So a lot of work to do, but I feel good about what these guys have accomplished these last couple of weeks.
Hey, Coach Trevor from Steve.
David Hood, are you starting to see some clarity along that offensive line, especially at center, or is that still kind of a work in progress?
Oh, it's still a work in progress. I think all of them have done some good things. And the biggest thing is consistency. I think all of them physically can get the job done, and I think all three mentally can get the job done. But consistency with our snaps, that's the area we've got to make some strides in. You got to be 100%, 99.99999%. When it comes to the CQ exchange. So that's an area that I think we got to clean up as we really hone in coming out of camp here. But all those guys have done a good job. Trent Howard has done a really good job. I'm really pleased with him. He's probably the most consistent when it comes to just the CQ exchange part. And but I think mentally and physically we got some guys that can get the job done. But again, just still need a little more consistency there.
Hey, Coach Trevor from CUTigers.com. What were some of the things that jumped out to you watching the film of Saturday's scrimmage? And with only 2 scrimmages this year, how much more important does that make Thursday for your guys to execute and clean up some of those penalties and things offensively?
Well, I mean, it's important, but listen, every day is important. I mean, when you're in camp, I mean, it's not just the scrimmages. I mean, you got to look at the totality of camp. You know, sometimes a guy can have a bad day, but he had a great camp. Or somebody can, you know, have a bad camp and has a great scrimmage. You know, so I think you got to weigh all that stuff together. But it's important. I mean, every single day that we come out here, it's critically important. But I think the biggest thing Saturday was just it's probably the best first scrimmage defensively that I've been a part of here. I mean, you know, just absolutely no mistakes from a beating yourself standpoint, no penalties. I mean, just didn't give up big plays, got stops in the red zone. I mean, they no drop off. I mean, I just was very pleased with how crisp they played. And then offensively, first group started out pretty good, moved the ball well, just kind of stalled out, had to settle for some field goals. But then as the day wore on, I thought the energy of the defense, they started getting some pressure. And, you know, we kind of made some mistakes. But, you know, I think we had 10 or 11 penalties on offense. So we had CQ exchange issues, had a couple of drops. You got running backs, receivers jumping off sides. And those are things you just can't do. It's hard enough to move the ball. And now when you're having kind of self-inflicted issues, that's not good. So today was much better from that standpoint, much better. Didn't have near as many penalties offensively. We did have a couple of tip picks that was disappointing, but defensively, I thought, you know, they had another solid day. We did have a couple boneheaded mistakes. We did have about 4 penalties on defense today. But it was a little more competitive. I thought Saturday the defense just won the day from top to bottom. And then again today, a little more competitive, but I would still say the defense, you know, came out with the edge, won the 2-minute drill, and you know, won the 3rd down drill as well. So still got some work to do, but I tell you, it's a blessing to be able to have the type of people that we got on this field to make each other better.
Yeah, but this is
Go ahead, Larry. Sorry.
Can you give us an injury update on the offensive side? I guess specifically Pennington, John Williams, Joseph Ngata, and maybe whoever else is not available.
Yeah, I'm not gonna get any specifics because we just got a bunch of guys banged up. You know, I mean, Joe's still out. Hopefully, it's not a long-term thing. He's you know, battling a hamstring, but I think everything that we're dealing with. John Williams is probably the one that's maybe a little more longer term. He'll be back at some point, but he's probably a little more. The rest of the guys, you know, they're all kind of day to day. You know, it's been a long 2 weeks of camp, a lot of banging, and you know, guys just get to that point where it's something. It's a toenail. It's falling off. It's a sore shoulder. It's you know, whatever. We've got a little bit of everything. But, you know, probably the only one right now that I'm concerned about is John. He's probably more long-term.
Dabo, this is Matt. When Bockhorst slides in at center, who do y'all go with at left guard? And is there competition there if Bockhorst were to play center?
Oh, absolutely. There's competition everywhere. You know, we've been cross-training guys everywhere. Marcus Tate's a guy that's been working left tackle and guard. He's worked with the 1s, the 2s. You know, T.O.'s another guy. Rayburn has played guard. Trotter's played guard. I mean, we've got all kind of combinations. The good news is we got more guys that can play, you know, for us. So I'm excited about that. You know, we're still, like I said, a work in progress with a couple of 2.5 weeks here before our first game. But I think we got a lot more guys that can go in and get the job done for us than we had this time last year.
Dabo, this is Gene in Charleston. How would you assess your running back room right now relative to where you wanted it to be? And how much of a luxury is it to have, you know, Brent Venables throwing stuff at them to help them pick up nuances of blitz protection and stuff like that?
Our running back room is really good. I love those guys. I think we got a great group. You know, we got a couple, you know, true freshmen in Shipley and Maffa that are going to be great players. And every single day is a learning experience for them. Kobe is, he doesn't, he's a true sophomore. He doesn't really carry himself that way. He kind of carries himself as a more, seasoned veteran. That's kind of how he goes about his business. Lynn Jay's got a ton of experience around here. We all know what he can do. Mikey Dukes just got a little later start to camp than the rest of the guys, so he was not in pads today. He's still in his acclimatization period. But Mikey's a guy that just has kind of missed out on some early opportunity, but we'll get him back rolling. And Rencher is a savvy veteran as well. So we got a really good room. I mean, I'm confident in all those guys, and think we're going to be able to have some explosiveness and some guys that can do some things in the passing game and so forth. But yeah, as I said, it's a blessing when and not just for the defense, it's a blessing for our defense to have the type of offensive personnel that they see every day. I mean, you're not going to see a better offensive lineman in the country than Jordan McFadden. Nowhere. I mean, and Parks is not far off. And so for our ends to have to go against those type of players, and for our backers and our DBs, secondary guys, to have to match up against the skill, the tight ends, the backs, it's a challenge for our defenses because there's a lot going on. And then the same thing, vice versa, man. It's baptism by fire when you come on this practice field, because you're going to see every front, every coverage, every blitz. We don't tiptoe through the installation from a defensive standpoint, but in the end, that's really good when you start game planning, when you really start to pare things down. Every year, that's one of the things I always see is the guys, they've been exposed to so much on the practice field. It helps us on game day for both sides. And that's one of the reasons I think we've been so successful around here for a long time, is there's not many teams in the country that can compete against each other in practice like we can, and to be honest with you, that's more important than anything. If you go to the national championship, that's 15 total days out of 365. That's it. So the other 350, that's really what it's all about. And so that's who you're training with, who you're competing against on the practice field every single day. And I think that we're very fortunate because we get exposed on this practice field as coaches, we get exposed as players, and it makes us better for game day.
Hey, Dabo, this is Anna with 24/7. What kind of camp has Trenton Simpson had?
Really good. He's a baller. He's a great player. He's still a young player, and obviously made some great strides for us last year. But I think he's had a very good camp. You just notice him all the time. He's still got some details that you'd like to see him be a little more detailed in certain areas, but he's one of those guys that covers up mistakes. Just a tremendous young prospect that's going to just keep getting better.
Dabo, it's Matt again. As camp winds down, what do you feel like you've learned about your team? And do you have any question marks still that you're hoping to get answered here over the next few weeks before the season starts?
Well, I think the biggest thing is they're together. This is a team that likes each other, and they'll compete. They'll compete. They practiced physical. They're I think a focused team, and those are things that excite me. We're talented. I think we all know that, but having the right leadership, having the right focus, having the right commitment, those are things that the right attitude and the right character. And I think this team has all those intangibles that we're going to need to have the type of season we want to have.
Hey, Dabo, you said before camp that you guys were right there at that 85% threshold for vaccinations. Have you guys hit that or exceeded that at this point?
Yeah, we're in a good spot. In fact, we got a couple guys got to get their second shots on Thursday, but we're in a great place, staff and player wise, and we're not quite 100%, but we're in a good place.
Hey, Coach, it's
Dabo.
David again. Have you seen what you wanted to see out of DJ like over the last week or so, and kind of him taking control and command of the offense and being the leader that you want him to be?
Oh yeah. He's had a good camp, and that's again one of the reasons that we try to script practice the way we do is to really challenge the quarterback, because he's got to manage the game. And, it's not fair to expect him to do certain things if you don't expose him to those things in practice. And so we've got a good plan as far as how we've gone about our installation and the scripting of practice situationally, et cetera. But he's a great leader. Everybody's got confidence in him. He makes others around him better. He loves it. He loves to compete. He loves to prepare. And obviously he's got great skills to go with it. So he's had a good camp, but he's, like everybody else, grinding every single day to get better.
Dabo Brad from Clemson SI and WCCP. When will you turn your attention to Georgia and kind of go full into that prep?
We'll start a little bit of opponent prep on Monday, Tuesday. Still working some Clemson as well, and then Wednesday will be a staff day for us, and then Thursday, Friday, Saturday will be all game prep, and then obviously you got your game week. So obviously we've done a lot of work all summer. So it's not like we just, wait to start. We've done a lot of staff work, but from a team standpoint, you're going through camp, it's about getting ready for your season, and then, we'll start paring it down and honing in, evaluating personnel and those type of things. And again, trying to just teach everything that we need to teach. But, we'll have some opponent prep Monday and Tuesday, but also some Clemson work. And then, as of next Thursday, it'll be all game prep at that point.
We'll take 2 or 3 more for Coach.
Coach, now that you have Ross back, is the plan still to use him on punt returns along with Shipley and Dixon and Stellato and those other guys that you've been working?
Yeah, we'll use him anywhere. Wherever we need him. We're not afraid to use him.
Dabo, if you play today, do you know who your starting corners would be, and I guess your nickel as well?
If we played today, I think Mario and Booth would probably run out there first, but all those guys are going to play. I think they've had a good camp, but I'm confident in all 6 of those corners. Those guys have worked their tails off, and you'll see them all play. And Malcolm probably the first guy, in there at nickel. But again, we got a long way to go between now and games. So a lot of practices, a lot of stuff. But those guys have had good camps for us.
Dabo, why do you think college football has become this sport that's obviously so dominated through the air? Whether it's an elite quarterback, you saw it last year with Devonta Smith. Why do you think the game has kind of turned this way?
High school football. High school football changed everything. I think that, with all the year-round sports that you have nowadays, it used to not be that way. Now you got year-round baseball, year-round basketball, year-round lacrosse, soccer, you name it. And I think high school coaches, in order to get the kids to play, they nobody wanted to go run out there and get in I formation, which is what I played in and coached in for a long time, or run the option or so forth. Everybody wants to put the ball in the air, and you got 7-on-7s all over the country, and I think that's what's changed it, and became a little bit more of a space game, and you've seen that because that's your recruiting base, and so you've seen the colleges change, and then the NFL's recruiting base is the colleges. So you see the same thing at the next level, because I think you're going to play to the strengths that you have, and with all the, again, year-round 7-on-7 and so forth, and the development of quarterbacks, and all this skill, that's just changed everything.